Hi, welcome back to Jayme and Andy's Tesla Adventures. Today is December 3rd. It is snowy and icy on the roads here in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, so I am going to test out self-driving 14.2.1, and we will see how it does. I already have a destination set into place, so we'll go ahead and push self-driving, and we will check out the performance on it. I have it in sloth mode. And all the cameras are clear, as you can see. I actually just went and washed the car for this specific reason, also to make sure that the camera's held steady. I also have exterior cameras as well. It does seem like, because there is more traffic. There's more traffic for sure. On the US 40 on the main stretch here, so there is going to be not as much snow, but that doesn't mean that there isn't ice. It is 32 degrees. I think it went to, oh gosh, I don't want to put out a wrong number, but I thought it got to about close to 10 degrees, maybe even a little less. I'm not sure. I didn't check. Either way, there's going to be some ice on the road. So sloth mode should be perfect. I'll probably switch it up to standard, because in our prior video, I think it was in our short, actually our last short, it was driving on US 40, which is this road right here, but it was down that way a bit more, 45 miles per hour. It was going 48 in standard in a little bit more covered snow, on the road in the other day. And that's not an ideal speed, going 48, especially when there's ice, snow, and there are other people around. And, what if you had to come to a sudden stop? You don't want to have that, your self-driving vehicle going 48 miles per hour, even, I would even say like 35 or even 40 miles per hour. You don't want it to do it like in that condition. This is, a bit better because everything's melted. So that's just fine, but we're going to go through some neighborhood too, so hopefully there'll be a little bit more snow. But yeah, even in standard mode, doesn't matter what profile you're in, it shouldn't be going a very, an unsafe speed or an uncomfortable speed. That was our gripes with our first snow video of this year. FSD was going, what was it, like 45 or... I forgot exactly what it was. I'll have to check back in the video, the prior video. But it was going it was on a 2-lane road over there in Elk River Road, and it was going an unreasonable speed, like a very uncomfortable speed. It didn't need to go that, and there was clearly snow on the ground. There was somebody, a couple of people in the comments from our last video saying that, there's barely even snow on the ground. It wasn't like, piled up high to, where the door meets, but it certainly was, there was snow on the ground. There was ice because of the temperature. It was slick. And FSD does not need to be going the speed it was on that 2-lane road, especially with curves and, people around. It's unnecessary. Okay, well that's a little wiggle right there of the wheel. And the camera did get a little messy, it looks like, so it's going to kind of not park the best. Which, it can see it. There's the yellow line. I don't know why it's doing that, so obviously it didn't park very well. So let's go ahead and continue with this, because we're going to go to the college now here in Steamboat. And that drive was pretty reasonable. Again, the roads are clear. They're warm enough to where the snow is melted. Again, there could be patches of ice. And here in Steamboat, the snow removal crew everywhere, they do a fantastic job. So yeah, I'm hoping in the neighborhoods it's not as melted, because obviously it's perfect right here. Yeah, I think in the neighborhoods it'll be just much better. But like I said, I'm going to keep it in sloth mode for now, and then eventually I'll take it to standard. There's a couple speed bumps here. I doubt FSD will, see it. Which those aren't too bad, but going down, they're a little bit more raised, so those will be pretty bad. So we'll see if FSD sees it and reacts to it. I'm going to get rid of this right now so it doesn't park or anything, because I want to make this not too long of a video. There we go. Okay, so FSD has no reason to go this way, even though when the destination that I set into place, it was going to be going straight ahead. I got rid of that destination, and for some reason it wants to turn to the right. No reason to do this at all, actually, because our next destination is actually down that way, down one of the neighborhoods. It's good, though, that it stopped for the pedestrian. And in the past, it's not doing it now. It would go down that way, and all it is just a parking lot, like a very small parking lot, but it would want to go to the right, and it would just kind of do a circle around the parking lot and then come back out this way, which was very strange. But right now it didn't do it, and I think even last time it didn't do it, so that's great. But even coming down this way in general, it had no reason to go down this way. All it had to do was just keep going straight, because that's where the destination for the college was anyway. It was, down right where this main building is. So why it went down where the dorms are, I have no idea. And there is a big speed bump over here. FSD, even now, loves to go over this full speed, and it's clear that there it is right there. So yeah, it's just gonna go over that. Looks like it wasn't too bad because there's some snow packed around that speed bump. But when there isn't snow there, it will go over that full speed. And again, the visibility of that speed bump is not that great. Like, they don't have it painted very well. So that's, a problem. But, I don't know what Tesla has it as the sensitivity. Like, it should be kind of seeing those hurdles. It does go over this speed bump right here when there's no snow. And also when we're going downhill, again, at those speed bumps, it does pretty well seeing those even at nighttime. And they're not even fully, they're not painted. So it's interesting how FSD will see it going down, but when it's coming up, it's, it sees it then, but not, when it's coming up. All right, so here we are, the first speed bump going down. It's going 16, and it's slowing down. See, it sees it. And there's a little bit more snow on that, so I can understand, there's a bit more visibility on that. And it wasn't going the speed limit, which it's not 30. I believe it's 20 or 25. But it says 30 for some reason. But it still went a pretty good speed. But it always sees those two speed bumps going down, which is good. But I wish it would do it for the other, for those two speed bumps going up. It doesn't see it. I don't know why. And I wish it did it for for that other big one that's up there too. It's taking this corner right here, very nice. Not going this, even like it thinks it's 30 miles per hour, but it's not even going the actual speed limit, which again, I think it's 20 or 25, but it's still keeping it like about, 16 miles per hour. So that's very good. And there's a car coming there's two cars coming, and there's a car in front. FSD's waiting. Good job. All right. A little bit of slippage right there, but it handled it. All right, we're going up on a little slick road here. They lay this gravel down, so that helps with traction. All right, speed limit's 25. Keeping it at 19. I would go less. See, this is a comfortable speed right here, so this is perfect. All right, there's a car on the left, but he has a stop sign, so FSD will go next. All right, we're going a little bit downhill, a little bit of a slope. Check out that back camera really quick. That's not too bad. With our previous Model Y, the 2025 one, we got that last November. His name was Dawson. If you've watched our previous videos, the back camera was always just, there's a bit of slippage right there. The back camera would always just get totally wrecked. You'd have to go out and clean it, and it's just like, that's not ideal, especially for a robo-taxi service. Which I'm surprised with the new Model Y, that we have. I'm really surprised Tesla didn't opt for like a back camera that was able to clean itself. It has like a little edge underneath it. Let me get rid of this destination really quick. Has a little edge underneath it, so it kind of helps with that. But I'm surprised they didn't add like a sprayer, to spray that camera, because the camera is going to get dirty. Not as much as our previous Model Y. So that is, it's pretty good. I think maybe, hopefully, with the newer models that they come out, they'll start to integrate some kind of, just like they did with the front camera. With the front camera, there's you can't activate it now, but there's a sprayer for it. I wish they would have that for the back too. So hopefully in the near future. There we go, standard. So it's in standard right now. To see if it still keeps a reasonable speed. Well, there's a little bit of slippage, but can't help it. Sometimes it just happens. So we'll see. And I notice when it's turning, it does take the turns very clean. So that's good. And yes, even though it looks like the roads don't look bad on camera, trust me, they're slick. Look, it just slipped right there. So I mentioned those two people that were complaining, and there was barely any snow on the ground. It's like, you weren't in the car, you couldn't feel the road. So, just take it from us. We're not going to mislead anybody. We're not going to lie to anybody. The roads are slick. But not on the main stretch. The main stretch looked like it was just fine because that's, that's where all the traffic is, and, the state keeps those roads relatively, solid. Okay, so should be slowing down probably right about, that's perfect. That's good. It was keeping it at 23 miles per hour, which is not bad actually. This is another thing too, even though the roads are clear, it doesn't seem like there's any ice on it here. I feel like FSD also does follow a little too closely to vehicles. Andy and I expressed that, little gripe the other day when we did night driving, FSD, you know, it was following a little too close for comfort. It needs to, you know, keep a nice distance from it, from the other vehicles, you know, in this weather. Alright, so let's see if it does it. Again, we need to go this way, not... Even though... Wait, what is that? Looks like it's showing it as option, but we don't want to go that way. Looks like FSD is avoiding that, so perfect. That's good. Yeah, I would always want to turn down that way. To the right. Let me get rid of this. It just... I guess what Andy, you know, our gripe is, Andy's and my gripe, what it is, you know, FSD just needs to be tweaked a bit more to where it keeps it slower. You know, when it's clearly icy and snowy on the road. Even in, like, you know, in higher speed profiles, it shouldn't be going the speed limit or even 10 under, you know, and it needs to go a bit slower than that. Especially when going around curves, like it needs to slow down in advance. But these stop signs, the roundabouts, it's handling it just perfectly. See, like this guy right here, he just kind of slid ever so slightly, but I saw it. See, FSD is going around this very nicely. Okay, so it looks like FSD did a double turn. I could see it with my human eyes, and I've lived around here for a long time, so I know that this is 2 lanes right here. So I don't know. I mean, the mapping should show that too, that, you know, this is a double lane right here. So we'll see if it backs into a charger right here. These are the chargers over here at the base of the mountain. For the past couple of times, it's just been pulling forward, and it only has been doing this when the snowfall happened. Prior times before that, with this new version, it's been backing up beautifully. We were able to charge if we wanted to, but with the snowfall, it's been pulling forward. So, one more thing I wanted to show too. We'll just select something. Where we just came from, there's a bit more of a, you know, there's going downhill. And the other night, FSD was going pretty, you know, quick down that. Not exceeding the speed limit, but it was going quicker than what it should have been, making it uncomfortable to go down. So we'll see if it does it again. It's in standard mode right now. And so far, I will say, like, this has been a great ride. FSD has been very impressive. You know, I will say there was a couple of moments where it could take that a little bit slower. It could have slowed down in advance, but like that was just, you know, a couple of times, and it wasn't bad at all. Like this, it's even keeping a reasonable speed, and I think it's 30 miles per hour right here. So it's keeping it at 16 in standard. That's great. And I was hoping there wouldn't have been anybody in front of me, because I would have liked to have seen FSD go. You know what? Let's disengage, actually. I want to have nobody in front of me. Let's actually activate it right here. Like, yeah, it took that corner a little too fast and it slid a bit. And I didn't activate it, while it was in the turn. I activated it before it made that turn, so should have known. Let's see here. Okay, so there's nobody in front. This will be perfect. That was a good stop. Standard mode. The guy ahead of me knows it's icy, so he's applying brakes. FSD is going 26, 27. So it did that very well. It did that very well, actually, so that's great. So I am going to, yeah, I think this is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and end the video. I was just there was a little bit of slippage right there. I was going to see how well it did down that. I'm going to go ahead and end the video. This was a little test drive. I was hoping for a better day as far as a lot of snowfall. It was, the snow was coming down pretty heavy earlier, but I guess it just stopped. So hopefully someday soon we'll get a nice snowfall and we can test it out even more in harsher conditions. But this is still great of a test because, it's been cold out. There's been snow that accumulated a little bit, but the ice buildup too, that had a chance to do that. So this was a great test, doing a little city driving. And the other night, that day that we made the video coming from Clark, we got done with dinner and FSD did a great job. We let it go around town. I didn't have to, I think it disengaged once, like I was saying, when it was coming downhill, or where we just came down. I had to disengage right there because it was going a little bit more an uncomfortable speed, and it was nighttime too, so definitely was ice. There was ice. Before I end the video, I wanted to share footage of FSD doing a U-turn on US 40. This happened after I ended the video, but I kept the camera rolling. I had a destination set in, and then I deleted that destination from the navigation. Unfortunately, FSD took this U-turn very casually and decided to go a slow speed to catch up to the 45-mile-per-hour speed limit. But in doing so, it did it in front of an oncoming vehicle, very unsafe, 45 miles per hour, casually catching up to a speed. No urgency whatsoever. So FSD does need more training in winter driving. If there was a patch of ice right there, if it was snowy out or even icy or blizzard conditions and FSD decided to do some type of U-turn like that in front of a vehicle and go casually, that is a problem. So hopefully they fix that. Another thing, I set FSD for destination at Natural Grocers. FSD came across 2 parking spots. FSD in version 14 has been doing really well at parking in parking spaces at destinations. So it looks like it's going to park right here, but it has some trouble. I thought it was going to fix itself, but then it continues to back up. So I have to apply brakes to disengage FSD. I was concerned that FSD thought maybe that was an empty space, so it was backing up into it. Yes, the camera is dirty, but clearly you can see there's an SUV parked behind. FSD should have been able to see that as well. If you take a look at the reflection in the SUV behind, you can see the brake lights, and that's me deactivating FSD, and I'm taking over manually at that point. Hopefully these types of issues are addressed to Tesla and they can get those fixes in before 14.3 comes out. Anyway, please drive safely. Thank you for watching, and until next time.